Let's get started. This question comes to us from C, and C writes this: Dear we, what is our take on the styles of music in our Lutheran churches? You know, see, that's a great question. Great question. I know for myself, being a part of a contemporary worship band at one point in time, playing the cajon, it's basically a box that you sit on. I used to look at the music and say, the contemporary music, and say to myself, you know, as long as it has a catchy beat, it points us somewhat to the Lord Jesus Christ, then it's all good. But I've come to find within the Lutheran Church, we have actually a much more rigorous criteria that we use for selecting our music. We don't merely go on style, but we go mainly on substance. And I've been given this really handy sheet that I found very useful to use. It's called this. It says the criteria for discernment in hymn selection. And as you can see there, if you can see in the camera, there's actually 6 criteria. It's theology, linguistics, music, liturgical, pastoral, and Catholic. Let me explain just these real quickly, each of these real quickly. The first one is theology. In other words, the songs that we're singing, do they point us to Christ and Him crucified? Do they distinguish our law and gospel appropriately? Does it communicate the theology of the cross? Secondly, we look at the linguistics. The music that we're singing, is it doctrinally emphasized? Do the words that we use, do they have precision when it comes to doctrine? Also, is it poetically written correctly? And so forth. The third one that we have here is musical. Now, we need to keep in mind with this one when it comes to music is, does it cover the lyrics? In other words, is the music what's front and central, that diminishes what we're actually singing? Or does the music clothe the lyrics? We want music that clothes and highlights that which we are confessing. The fourth is liturgical. Does the song fit appropriately in the liturgical calendar? Does it capture what we are thinking about preaching and hearing and confessing that day? Here's a perfect example of this not going well. It'd be like singing the old hymn, I have decided to follow Jesus. The hymn goes, I have decided to follow Jesus. Singing that song and then having the sermon being on the text where Jesus says, you did not choose me, but I chose you. You see how that doesn't work? We don't want to have that together. And besides, that song, I've decided Jesus, is not in our Lutheran hymnal. Moving on, pastoral. Does the hymn itself, does it serve the faithful by bringing about a piety in serving as devotional material for the saints to be able to ponder, to sing, to contemplate? And finally, but not least, is it Catholic? Now, not necessarily Roman Catholic, but does it connect us to the historic church? Is it something that universally across the world that we can sing together with our brothers and sisters in Africa and Australia and so forth? Does it connect us to the faith of the saints of the past confessing Christ? Well, hopefully that answers all your questions: theological, linguistic, musical, liturgical, pastoral, and Catholic. That is what we use for our style, or what we would say, what governs our musical selection in the Lutheran Church. We'll catch you next time.